What's up, y'all? Welcome back to HRT. I hope your week was swell. Today's guest is Kay. Kay and I had a lovely conversation about a bunch of things. We didn't have like one specific topic this week. We kind of just bullet pointed a bunch of different things like internalized transphobia, unsupportive partners, navigating transphobia, overcoming people pleasing, and being stealth. All very interesting and engaging topics, I think. Led to some really great conversation. And yeah, you should give it a watch. And that's about it. I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Subscribe to the Patreon, join the Discord. It's those two things are always in the description below. I'd appreciate that. I have some new content from last episode with Angel where we talk about porn. A lot of content from that episode will be coming out on Patreon. So if you're interested in that, definitely subscribe. I would appreciate it. That's it. I love y'all. Enjoy the episode. Bye. Now I'm going to ask you again. Where are you from?
I'm from Texas. You already know.
I love that. Now, how does text you? How does how does text you?
In a big group
How
chat,
does treat you as a non-binary person?
Okay. As a non-binary person, I don't. Most people I don't tell that I'm non-binary because a lot of people just don't get it. But
True.
as a trans person in like the beginning stages of transition, a lot of people were respectful because it was like I worked in a mall, it was retail, and it was just like a good neighborhood, I guess. Because if
hmm
it were any other neighborhood, it'd be like bad.
Got you. Now, when you kind of, I guess, when you've had to come out to people, like, I guess around you for any reason, whatever, does it still go well when you tell them that you're trans slash non-binary?
It, for the most part, it does because I seek
That's good.
out other trans and queer people.
Mm, right. Surrounding yourself with good people always makes life
Mhm.
easier, right? How old are you, by the way?
I'm 24.
24. Wow, nice. Me too. Slay. Now, what do you still work at the mall?
I don't. I work at AutoZone.
Oh, slay. Look at that. How does that treat you?
I like it a lot. It's like a lot of learning. It's just like a new challenge for me to like try to overcome.
I love that. Period. Now, are you on hormones?
I am 3 years.
Ooh. 3? Wow,
hmm
good for you.
Thank you.
Slay.
For you, 7 years, right?
I'm 7 years. Yeah. I was thinking about that yesterday and I was like, it doesn't feel like 7 years. I feel like I've only been on it for maybe like 2.5. Like I
Mm,
feel like I have not injected myself that many times. Does that make sense? Do you ever feel like that?
yeah.
That's so weird to me. I
hmm
want to do the math on like how many injections would you have to take over the course of 7 years. Jesus
Wow.
Christ.
Oh my
I
goodness,
wonder
that'd be
how
really
many times
cool.
I've stabbed myself for real. But wow, 3 years. Good for you. Now do you do injections?
I do.
How do you like that? Do you like injections or no?
I like them a lot. The pills are like annoying to like put under your tongue and like wait for it. An injection is
Mm,
like a ritual. So I really
yeah.
enjoy it.
When did you make the switch from the pills to injections?
Probably a year in. Probably.
Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Did you take the pills every day?
Yeah, like twice a day. And I still take the T blockers daily, but
Okay.
it's like a swallowable instead of like this under the tongue.
Got you.
Uh,
Um, Now are you doing IM or sub Q?
Sub Q.
Right. Yeah.
I
Mm,
was
mm,
IM, and that
you
shit
were.
hurt. It hurt. I don't know how you do it.
She said that shit hurted. Oh, I know. I know.
It was hard when I was doing it then that way because I don't know. I would just have to like brace myself every time, but switching to sub Q is a lot easier for me at least.
Do you do it in the stomach or no?
Still in the thigh.
Thigh? You did IM in the thigh too. Mm.
Hmm.
And it hurts less, even though are you doing it in, like the same spot for the most part?
Yep.
And it doesn't hurt as bad? Wow.
No, because at first I was like pulling the skin back and then like injecting it,
Mm,
but now I squeeze.
mm. I forget about the squeezing for sub-Q people. Hmm. Well, does is gel a thing for estrogen or no?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Hmm.
Me being uneducated,
Not me not knowing.
for real.
Please, there's so many things I don't know that I really should know.
Mhm.
What is your dose for estrogen?
It is zero point 0.1 milliliters.
Got it. I totally understand that.
Right. I
I
was
don't.
before this video. I was like, okay, let me go like look into like the actual difference between milliliters and milligrams, so I can like inform everybody. Apparently, someone has already informed y'all, but it's like it translates like 1 milligram is 1,000 milliliters because grams are like mass and then milliliters are volume, but the density what's
Mm,
what makes it change. So that's why it's different from different substances.
the density makes it change. See, that doesn't like process in my head. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, I
Mm.
won't lie. Like many people have like tried to teach me, and like every time I'm like, yeah, great, thank you so much, but
Yeah,
I never get it. So I'm gonna just be real with you. I don't get it. Okay. So you said you are what, 0.1 milliliters? Did you say?
Mm.
Okay, cool. I just got my dose changed from, well, I was doing 100 milligrams every 2 weeks. Then I was doing 50 milligrams every week. And now I'm doing, because 50 like converts to point 0.5, right? That's how all you
I think
usually do it.
mhm.
Now I'm doing point 0.4 weekly. So look at me
Ah,
go, lowering my dose.
if it works out, it'll work out.
Thank you, thank you. I hope so. I get really bad stomach pains from it. That's why I'm lowering my dose.
Mm.
Have is that a thing with estrogen? Like, do you ever experience like any discomfort of any kind or pain? Like, is it like does it have like the same risks and stuff as testosterone? Do you think?
Mm. That I also don't know.
Hmm, that's okay.
At least not for me.
Yeah, I would have no idea either. So we're just a bunch of trans people who know nothing about being trans. It's fine. We're just
Hmm.
raw dogging it. Okay. Do you? Oh, you've been on. Okay, yeah, you've been on hormones for 3 years. You said.
Hmm.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So surgeries. Do you want
Mm.
any? Have you gotten any?
I maybe like a little breast augmentation. That'd be cool. I don't know. I'm just gonna wait it out and see how it goes.
Period. I love that. I love that. I love that. Now, when did you come out as trans slash non-binary?
I think like 2020 COVID.
2020. Yeah, that's. I'm just gonna
Hmm.
rename COVID to like the coming out as trans year.
For
Like that's
real.
when everybody came out as trans. I love it.
Trans
Okay.
virus. Yeah.
So you came out in 2020. So and you're 3 years on hormones. So what you came out and then a year later you started hormones, I guess.
Yeah, about like really soon. Because I was like, as soon as I realized everything, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, let me get started on this.
Period. Yeah, that's
Hmm.
pretty much what I did too. Now, how did coming out go for you? Who'd you come out to first?
Not too, who was it? I think it was like coworkers, honestly.
Oh
Because
wow.
it was a
Period.
really small, like, yeah, weird, right? It was a really small, like, company. So, like, we sort of already knew each other. Like, it was like high school friends, and like my girlfriend was working there.
Oh,
So,
got you.
yeah,
Nice.
it was came up to them first, and we are like, oh, okay.
Now, what about family?
Family, good for the most part. It took them a
That's
while
good.
to get used to it, but it was good.
But they're supportive and everything now.
Yes.
Oh, wow. I love to hear it. And you're from the South, right? Like born and raised. That's where you were
Hmm.
born.
Yep.
That's nice to hear. I feel like a lot of my guests who are from the South, Texas area, those are my guests who tend to have more of unsupportive families. So it's nice to hear that someone from the South, has a supportive family. That's really cool.
Yeah. At least close family. Extended family, I don't even know. I don't mention it because I don't see them.
Yeah, honestly, I don't talk to my extended family about being trans either.
Hmm.
They probably watch my podcast and, get all their information from here, but that's about it. Yeah, cuz like what's the point, you know what I mean? I don't see you anyways.
Hmm.
Why would I waste my time? That's cool. That's good. Um Now, gender dysphoria, do you have it? And how do you cope with it?
Mm. So I guess I have it in a. If I'm being too masculine, I guess I feel like okay, I need to balance myself out, and then similarly the other way. I feel like I need to meet somewhere in the middle, even though I present very feminine.
Mm, got you. Okay, cool. I mean, hey, I relate. If I'm feeling too feminine, I'm like, yo, I better stop. I better stop right now.
Yeah, let me
Yeah, deadass. Let me flex in the mirror. Like, just become the biggest tool bag, really. All right. So this is kind of the first episode where I we don't have like a solid topic.
Mm,
Your survey answers, by the way, were great. I love them. So thank you for doing that,
no.
by the way. You named just like a bunch of things you were passionate about. So what I did is I just took them and I wrote my thoughts down, and hopefully we just talk about it all. But the first one that caught my eye in your survey answers was that you want to talk about internalized transphobia.
Mm.
Now, what do you think that kind of looks like to you? Like, do you think you had a little bit of internalized transphobia before you came out or when you were coming out, maybe?
I think I did. I had a lot of phobias. It was like damn phobia. I was like, I don't want to be too feminine. Like I need to man up. I need to do things a certain way. It was
Mm,
homophobia. Because I'm bi, but I was like, I don't know what I am, but I'm not gay, but I'm not straight, so I don't know. And
mm.
then transphobia was when I was like still at the beginning, like before I knew I was trans, when I figured out like, okay, I'm bi, but I'm not gonna be like one of those super feminine gay guys. Look at me now.
Look at me now. That's funny as hell. Now, how do you think you kind of overcame all of those phobias?
mm, I guess biphobia that was easy to overcome in a way,
Mm.
but in terms of transphobia, that's something I'm still working through because
Mm.
I don't know because of how society works, how trans people are viewed, and it's like you're gonna get hate regardless of what you do, trans or not. So it's just about
Mm.
cultivating like self love, I guess.
Period. I love that. And I mean, hey, I get it. Like I don't know. I think on a daily basis I probably think that I don't have any internalized transphobia and that I'm, perfect. But I when I really think about it, I think everybody has a little bit of an internalized transphobia because I feel like we all just want to be validated by the rest of the world. You know what I mean? Like, not even by just cis men, but like, it would be nice to be loved. You know what I mean? So I
Mhm.
feel like everybody goes to certain lengths sometimes. So I feel you there. I get that. I don't know. What do you think that internalized transphobia looks like, though? Because I feel like I know some people who think they're like allies, and I feel like they have questionable beliefs, if that makes sense.
Right. Hmm.
Because I feel like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of an example. But have you ever talked to someone who is an ally, right? But They'd be like, "Yeah, I support trans people, but this one thing is weird." I'm like, "Well, then what the fuck?"
Right.
Like, that kind of vibe. That's internalized transphobia, right?
Right.
They're not even aware.
hmm
Mm,
And they're not even trans, but
yeah,
like you can still have that transphobia for sure.
right.
There was this one coworker, and he was like, "Okay, yeah, that's cool. I love that you're trans. It's like you just gotta be yourself, you know? Like, it's because he was gay. He was a gay guy,
Mm.
so it was like, yeah, of course, like we support you." But then he went like one time randomly, he was like, "I love that. Like you're really feminine because you know some." He didn't know the terminology, but he's like, you know, like some trans feminine people, they like still have a beard or they just don't dress like they're supposed to. And I was like,
How they're supposed to.
whoa, that was unexpected.
Mm, yeah. It's
Mm,
always the coworkers too, isn't it? It's like where they feel like they can just say whatever the hell
for
they
real.
want.
Like this is work.
Uh,
Work and go home. I
mm,
don't need to know your opinion.
right. Right. Oh my god. Say it louder because I had some questionable coworkers. I don't think I've ever told the story, but I worked at a liquor store for like 5 years,
hmm
and that was the only place I wasn't out as trans. And my coworker, who was maybe a couple of years older than I was, not by much, he looked at me one day. I think I had told this part of the story, but he looked at me one day and he was like, you could be one of those trans, what are they called? Transgenders. You could be one of those. And I was like, wow. Like I thought I was passing so well.
That
Oh, oh. I was like, that's really mean.
that's a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
Mm.
Honestly, I was like, you too. Like you could so do you.
You-
Like how does that feel? Like,
yeah. Like everyone
uh,
thinks sex is so like was it the word dichotomous or whatever? And it's like we all
mhm.
have a mix of qualities.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Right. Right.
Mm,
And the person that said that to you, uh, said the way, people are supposed to look.
mm,
That's wild. Because you don't even say that about cis people. Like, there's no
exactly.
one way a cis person is supposed to look. That makes
hmm
me mad. And you said he was gay? He was a gay guy?
Yep. And it was a gay guy. And turns out later, after I left, I have like another coworker, but he outed someone, and I was like, "That's crazy. That shows the true colors."
The same person or a different coworker?
That same guy.
You know, not to be problematic, but I feel like cis gay men can be very problematic sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I don't know. I went to school with a somebody who was gay, cis man who was gay, and who hates trans people, like constantly posting about it on
Mm,
Facebook. And I'm like, homie, you are literally gay. Like he was like, I didn't choose to be gay, but trans people choose to be trans. And I'm like, I hope you rot in hell, my guy.
damn.
Like,
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I never knew that like subgenre, I guess, that subcategory of like queer people existed where they're like you said, so in
yeah.
need of this like cishet validation that they'd be throwing their own people
Hmm.
under the bus.
Right. Sometimes I feel like people part of the LGBT community, not that they're worse than transphobic cis people, but they're more nasty with it. You know what I mean? Because
hmm
I feel like I guess because gay people have more of a spice when they're being mean. You know what I mean? So like when they're mean to you, that shit cuts kind of deep sometimes.
Right.
So it's like they can be kind of worse.
And it's like the proximity of their queerness to like our queerness or like my queerness, I guess. And it's like they're saying, I'm like you, but I'm a better version of you because I fit within with the normal people.
Right.
Yeah.
Very true. Because cis people like me more. Ugh,
Mm,
ugh. It's like why are we even talking about that? Because
right.
like why if you I feel like I talk about, craving cis male validation too much and people are probably tired of hearing about it. But like It's like I feel like the stem root of all of our problems. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I don't know, because that's all it is. It's like, why are you craving the attention of people who just hate you? Like, you must be wildly insecure.
Yeah,
And I feel like that's where a lot of internalized transphobia comes from.
I agree.
Yeah. Anyhow, our next little bullet point here from your survey answers was unsupportive partners. Now,
Mm.
have you ever dealt with unsupportive partner before?
All right. Well, at the end of that tidbit we just had, where it's like the root of a lot of transphobia is like the cishet validation, and I felt like I was there at some point, especially in terms of romantic relationships, because I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
get you. Now, do you feel, because you said you're bi, right?
Mm.
Now I'm assuming you've been with both female and male people. Do you find it to be different? Like maybe your dysphoria is worse with men than it is with women, or like you don't crave that validation when you're with this person or with this person. You know what I mean? Is it different when it varies?
That's a good thought-provoking question. I feel like it's mixed,
Mm,
because I guess with like women, it could be like a little dysphoric to be like, oh well, like I'm AMAB with a woman, so like what am I? But
mm,
then at the same time, it's like you feel less judged. I feel like there's more understanding and more empathy there with women.
hmm.
And then on the other
Yeah.
end, when you're with, or when I'm with a guy, it's like, okay, I'm not as dysphoric, but I feel like I need to perform more, or I need to like act a certain way.
Hmm.
Mm.
I get that 100%. I feel like I've only had girlfriends. Like I've never dated men or anything. You good, Max? Sorry. He's like crawling under wires right now. I
Oh.
couldn't help myself. All right, where was I? I Oh, that was a great catch. Did you see that? Wow. Okay. So I've never dated cis men. Um
Lucky you. I'm kidding.
but
Okay.
yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm
Lucky.
sorry.
I have never dated cis men, but I do I don't label my sexuality, as I said.
Mm.
I'm not opposed to it. But I do feel like if I were to be with a cis man rather than a cis woman, dysphoria and everything that comes with being trans would be really different for me.
Mm.
Like, I think I would still have dysphoria, but it would be in such different places. You know what I mean? Because I'm in a straight passing relationship, and I've always been in a straight passing relationship as a trans man. I feel like sometimes I feel like I need to be more masculine because I need to fit that boyfriend male role. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Where if I was with a cis man, maybe I wouldn't. You know what I mean? Like, yes, I could still fill that role because two men can be both masculine together, but
Right.
like, I wouldn't feel like I had to be. So that's kind of why I asked you because wanted to know how it was like on the non binary side,
Hmm.
more trans femme side, I guess. But yeah, I think people often forget that, I guess, romantic relationships do play a huge part in how you view yourself, which is kind of sad.
Yeah.
I don't know. So you think that when do you feel like things are more like easy, more laid back for you when you're maybe have a romantic relationship with a woman?
Honestly, I feel like my best relationships, where I'm the most comfortable, is with other trans people, like other non-binary
Period.
people. Mm.
Period. Yeah, I get that. I've never had a romantic relationship with somebody else who was trans. But I don't know. In my head, I feel like it could go so well because we would both understand each other
Right.
and like know boundaries and like know the proper language to use. But like Have you? Because you've had romantic relationships with people who are non-binary or trans, right?
Hmm.
Now, did you ever find that, like, I don't know, maybe trans people tend to be insecure, right?
Hmm.
We all know that.
Right.
Do you ever find that that became a problem ever?
Honestly, I feel like I was always the more dysphoric partner. Embarrassed.
Me too. It's fine.
um, but I have talked to people, or no, I think it was like a video, a YouTube video, and I wish I could name drop them. I totally forgot. But it was talking about how she or they wouldn't want to be in like T for T relationships at where they are because the dysphoria they have, they would like project it onto their partner in a way,
Mm,
or like their partner would make them sort of dysphoric because they might have the same, they might have qualities, their partner might have qualities that they have that make them dysphoric. And like it's sort of like a, like it's
yeah.
bouncing off of each other. And that's sort of
Mhm.
something I used to feel, or like used to be scared like I would feel, and I couldn't be in T for T relationships. But I don't know. I guess I got to a point where I was comfortable with myself, and then just like I guess
Mm,
finding the right partner too, and it just works out.
true.
Like you help each other.
Yeah. Yeah. I think overall that's probably the main thing you'd get out of it is that you help each other through each transition, I
Hmm.
guess, yeah. You said you prefer T for T?
I do.
Mm, I get that. Cis men suck. Which kind of brings me to the next little topic here. You also mentioned navigating transphobia.
Mm.
Now, how do you, how would you, if you haven't, navigate transphobia? In person, online, whatever, either one.
So your method to navigate transphobia online, I like you just don't take it serious.
Period. See, I love that.
Um, I haven't like online himself until now, I guess. So I haven't really dealt with that. So I don't know.
Mm,
But in person, it depends who the person is. If
mm,
it's like some stranger, yeah, their words could hurt, but it's like I'm not gonna see you again after this. I don't know you, and I don't care about your opinion. But if it's like
true.
with a family member, it like are friends or like someone who was your friend before you transition, and like you find out they have certain transphobic views. That's when it sort of stings.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And with a family member, okay, well, the reason why I feel like I'm better at handling transphobia online is because it's not in person, right? I'm hiding behind a fucking keyboard where
Just like yeah.
I can sit there and have time to think about my comeback, you know what I mean? And with not taking it seriously, it's fun and it makes it more enjoyable for me and it makes it hurt less because I can, laugh about it.
Yeah.
But then it's always you have to expect they come back with, oh, you're just saying that because you don't have a comeback. So you have to be okay with them saying that if you
Right.
want to take it as a joke, which I am. But that's why I think obviously I would prefer to be online because in person a family member is different. If a family member was being, outwardly transphobic to me, they're my family, so I feel more comfortable like speaking and like talking, saying whatever on my mind. And if
Mm.
I stutter or if I don't have anything to say or I say something stupid, I don't think they would come at me for that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where if a stranger yelled at me like on a train or something or out in public,
Um,
I think I would be so taken back that I don't know. In my head, I like to think that I would say all the right things and I would be so confident and I know all my facts and
right.
I would think about how I'm like the host of HRT and I could spit it. But in reality, I'd be like,
Right.
like I
Right.
don't I don't know if I could. And it's
Same.
hard. Navigating that shit is hard.
Hmm.
I won't lie. And like that's why I kind of say like it's best to just turn around, walk away
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, if you are even trying to like educate them, it's they're not gonna listen, you know? They're yelling at you and being transphobic for a reason just because they're getting off on it for the most
Right.
part, like, which
If
is
they wanted
vile.
to learn, they'd do it on their own.
Yeah,
Hmm.
they have other reasons. Yeah, just turn around, walk away. But, oh, sometimes I hate that though.
Feels like
I
they won or
I'm
something.
I'm a stubborn fucking bitch. I am so stubborn, it's ridiculous. So, like, I don't know. If someone's rude to me in public, I make it known that they were rude to me. Like, I will be rude back and I don't care. So I have trouble walking away from a fight.
Mm,
I feel like I need to get the last word in because I'm again stubborn. Um, but I don't always know the right thing to say, especially if it came to like, trans stuff.
right. Like for me, I'm really conflict averse when it comes to strangers. When it comes to like personal relationships, I'll be arguing. But with strangers, I'm like, oh, I don't know who this person is. I don't know what they're capable of. So I'm not gonna like. I don't know what they have with them. So I usually just
Right.
smile or laugh it off. But then after, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like so angry. Like, damn, I wish I said something.
Right, yeah. You go home and you're taking a shower or something and you think of all the things you could have
It's
said but
always in the
didn't.
shower. It's always.
Yeah, always. It's always in the shower. Do you know how many fake fights I've had in the shower? Like,
Oh my goodness. Man.
uh, yeah, it's hard to think of things to say on the spot though, and
Mhm.
especially for trans femme people or trans women. Like, it's better to just don't make eye contact, keep your head down, and just fucking get out of there because like it's not worth it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But like also, let's put these fucking transphobic cis men in their place, please.
Right.
Like, why are they winning? It's unfair.
I heard I think it was ContraPoints, like one of her videos, I think it was Trans Trenders, where she had like one of her characters, one of her non-binary characters being like, the way to win against arguments, like keep a cool head. Like you gotta be cool. Like whatever you just said did not bother me because you're dumb and stupid. Like
I love it. You're dumb and stupid.
yeah.
No, I love that. Period. Because like I said, you're right. As soon as you start to like lose your head and act a fool, that's they can use that as a
You're like,
weapon. So if
see,
you're just like,
told you they're mentally ill. Like, no.
yeah, that's good
Mm,
advice. Just be like, dude, what the fuck is your problem? Like, remain calm and like just turn it on them. Like, why are you so worked up right now? Why are you
yeah.
so what's up?
What's
Like,
the matter?
also like, why are you so curious about what's in my pants? Why do you care so much, you fucking pervert? Like, that's
For
what I
real.
uh yeah. Navigating transphobia online though is easy peasy. Because you can go about it however you want. If you want to educate, if you want to tell them they're a little girl called me a woman yesterday actually it was a little girl, not little, but she was probably like 16, 17, maybe, and I don't know, my girlfriend posted a video of her singing and this girl who was a Taylor Swift fan
Mm,
she and sh my girlfriend was singing a Taylor Swift song. uh the comment that this girl posted was like shut up and go clean the house or something to my girlfriend. So I replied and I was like, shut up and go to bed. Like, it's past your bedtime.
right.
And,
It's always the
and
teenagers.
right. Like, and she replied back to me and it was like, called me a girl. Obviously, like, it's clear that I'm trans on my profile. Called me a girl and said something that didn't matter. And I was like, oh my God, Taylor Swift would be disgusted by you.
Right,
Like, so, like, I don't care who you are. If you're going to be a dick to me or transphobic to me on the internet, you're done.
right.
You're done.
I
I
will
don't care
find,
how old
I
you
will
are.
find something. I will find dirt. Swifties are
Right.
not
Like,
transphobic.
please.
Like,
Right. I was like, you're a fake fan. Oh,
mm,
God. Pissed me off. Just had to share that. That's why I prefer it online. I can sit there and think. You know what I mean? Um. Ooh. Okay. Oh, did we cover that? We covered that. Overcoming people pleasing was another one,
mm,
which is super important. Do you think that was a struggle for you, people pleasing?
For sure. Like before transitioning, like I didn't know what I want because I didn't even know who I was. So it was like, I think my purpose in life is to just make everyone else happy, which is like, oh my goodness, so like self destructive in a way.
That's a lot of work, bestie. You're
um,
working overtime.
yeah, there's
Mhm.
this show or like this movie in book Divergent, and then one of the tests on there, like society is organized into groups, and then one of the groups is like selflessness, and I took the little quiz before I transitioned, and it was like, oh, okay, I'm like one of the selfless people. And then after transitioning and like learning how to like find my own happiness, like I'm a person too, I need to make myself happy too. But like after I
Mhm.
took the test, it was like, oh, okay, I'm actually one of the people who like value happiness and peace. 'Cause that's what life is about. Like you need to make yourself happy. So if you're living for someone else, like who's living for you? Hmm.
Mm, period. I love
Like,
that. I love that. Oh, I love it.
mm,
Because, like, you're so right. Like, well, do you think that transitioning, like, made you overcome that people pleasing characteristic? Was it transitioning? Do you think that helped?
it helped a lot because it's like
Yeah.
this is something I
Yeah.
had to choose for myself. No one else was gonna be like, "Oh, I'll help you," or like, "Yeah, I'll do it for you." Like I needed to do it on my
Right.
own. It was something. And of course, there's a lot of people in my life that helped, but I still needed to
Yeah.
make the choice and continue making the choices to help myself.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think if anything will teach you how to do that, it's transitioning.
Hmm.
It'll get you to a place where you can look in the mirror and end up like thinking, "Oh, I really have to put myself first because ain't nobody's gonna do this for me." You know what I mean? And once you realize that you're alone, it not alone in
Yeah,
like a bad way, in like, okay, I'm my own best friend. I have to do this for myself. Once you realize that, it's like, okay, why am I working so hard to make these other people happy and give them whatever they need when I'm not getting that in return?
right.
So I feel you.
You gotta
Mhm.
really learn to trust yourself too, because there's a lot of people who will be against you, be like, "Oh, it's just a phase," or like, "You don't know what you're talking about," or "It's just trauma." It's something you've been through that changed you into this. So you really have to
Mm,
know how to follow your own heart and like your own inner voice.
very true. Very true. And I think a lot of trans people, I know we just said that transitioning will teach you how to not be a people pleaser. But still, I think a lot of trans people are people pleasers
Still.
because we are terrified. We are terrified to hurt other people's feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. Because I think a lot of people think that trans people are, we'll all have a mental breakdown in the middle of a store because you didn't get our pronouns right. When in reality, that is not like you will sit there and call me a girl, and I'll be like, "Mhm, yeah, you're right." Like that is, it's the biggest load of bullshit that trans people
Mm.
are like that because we're not. I'm sure there are some, sure,
Yeah,
but
trans people go through a lot. That's the thing they don't know. Like they just see the things where like, oh, look at this person like having a breakdown. And it's like that's after all of the years or like all of the months they dealt with so much of that stuff. It wasn't just
mhm,
one in every incident.
yeah, very true.
Hmm.
And like, I don't know. Here, I don't know. Like you see like the Karens, like the Karens of the world in stores, like having a mental breakdown and like lying down on the floor crying and like screaming bloody murder for no reason. And it's like, it's like, because that's like related to what people have posted about trans people. You know what I mean?
Mm.
I've seen videos like that where it's like, this person's crying because someone didn't get their pronouns right. Where it's like, first of all, how do we even know? How do we even know you're telling the truth? How do we even know this person is trans? Like, how do we
Right.
know you got the story right?
Hmm.
Ugh, I'm sorry, but like, I don't see. a trans person ever really doing that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
we're self-aware. We
I just don't see
know
it.
people will flip it back on us.
Mhm. Exactly. Like we fight so hard to make ourselves be seen for who we are, and who we are is not these fragile little snowflakes who will yell at you for hurting my feelings in public. Like, no. Like, so like I highly doubt a sound trans person is out here doing that.
Hmm.
And you posting a video like that or you're just making the trans community look like shit. And that's your
That's the
only
per.
goal
Yeah.
there.
Hmm.
Just sad. But yeah, I think transitioning will teach you how to not be a people pleaser, but
There's still
I don't know.
aspects that you're like,
Yeah,
I still need to be presentable, or like I still need to carry myself with respect so that others hopefully will also give me respect too. See that I'm a
right.
respectful person.
Yeah. Very true.
Mm.
I think I am still a little bit of a people pleaser when it comes to certain things, but I know how to put myself first now,
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
it does.
Like I think I'm a people pleaser in a way that like cis people are people pleasers, if that makes sense.
Hmm. Instead of like
Like, I don't know.
always the sacrifice, like, oh, I'll do anything to help because I don't care about myself.
Mm,
Mm.
yeah. And you said in the beginning when we started talking about people pleasing that you took a test or whatever and it said that you were thought that you were created to make everybody else happy. I feel like a lot of young people, not young, but like, you know, at a certain point in your life, I feel like a lot of people feel that way or want to be that way
Hmm.
to make everybody happy. My God, you don't realize like how horrible that is. Like it sounds all cute and everything
Yeah.
when you want to be that, but then when you like grow up, you and look back, you realize how fucked that
Yeah.
is.
How many choices you
Like,
made that like did help someone else. Yay, I guess, but like hurt yourself in the long run. So much worse.
yeah. Yeah, but don't get me wrong, I love to make people happy, but like, what about me?
Hmm.
Well, what about me?
I'm a person too.
Yeah, period.
Mm.
Period. Okay. Our last little topic that you mentioned was being stealth. You mentioned that are you stealth where are you stealth in your life right now?
Mm. Literally everywhere except family
Everywhere.
and like partners.
Oh wow. Wow, good for you. How do you do that?
It
Cuz like that's hard. That's a lot of pressure, I feel like, right?
is. I would
Mm,
say having a like a name change and like the gender marker change really like that's the main thing.
for sure.
At first, like employers would know, and it'd be like it always felt like that was a part of them, a part of yourself that they were judging, or like they always took that in consideration when dealing with you.
Mm,
And I guess
mhm.
that's with any aspect of someone, like taking into consideration that you're black or that you're like white. But
Mhm.
being stealth, it was like, okay, well, that's something I don't have to worry about now. But if it were to come out, or if
Mm,
I were to trust someone with this information and like they didn't respect me and like take it the way I wanted them to, then
mhm.
that's when it gets hard. That's when the pressure is like,
Yeah. Have you ever been in a situation where you were stealth and somebody, didn't know you were trans, but said something about trans people that you didn't agree with?
oh yeah, a lot of the times.
Mm.
So many times.
How do you handle those situations?
I'm like, well, that's a weird thing to say. Like, I don't be like, well, I'm trans. How about that? Like, I
Yeah.
wish I could. I wish I was more like forward, and I'm working on it. That's why I'm
Mm.
here. But but it's like,
Yeah, period. I'm proud of you.
thank you. Um, I don't know, but you still like defend. You still defend people. You still defend yourself and your
Mhm.
community, even if they don't know that you're a part of that community. It's like, okay, that was
Mhm.
a fuck thing to say.
Mhm. Period. I
Mhm.
like that because, like, again, everybody has has a right to be stealth or not. You know what I mean? I don't think every trans person has to be fucking out and about marching fucking through a parade saying that they're trans.
Right.
I don't want anyone to think that that's what I think. But I do in the past have found it frustrating when trans people who are stealth let other people around them hate trans people.
And
And
say
like,
nothing about
you
it.
know,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's not the way to
It's
go.
like, damn, how could you do that?
Hmm.
Yeah. Like, how could you do that to your own community kind of thing? Hmm. Now, your stealth everywhere you said, like at work and everywhere too. Is that where like you've seen the most like transphobia or
Mm,
no?
I think
Just out in public.
the casual transphobia isn't like as much as it is when you're like talking one on one with someone. You get to know them
Mm,
and then they start like letting out what they think about things. And you're like, oh, like I would have never known
yeah.
until you just exposed yourself.
Yeah.
I would change really quickly.
Right. True. Oh,
Mm,
being I remember being stealth though at work. It was scary because I worked for people who, you know, part of their culture, they weren't like outwardly transphobic or anything, but every time I brought or somebody brought up the word transgender in front of my boss, he would be like, I don't know, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it
mm,
because their culture was just very I don't think they support it, but you know, he's a nice guy, so he wasn't going to just be a dick in front of everybody, but it was always really scary for me because I was like, oh my gosh, my boss who like I consider family low key hates me and he doesn't
yeah,
even know it.
he doesn't know it. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, I hate that feeling.
Yeah. Oh, it's scary. Are you like ever scared?
Mm, sometimes, sometimes I'm
Mm,
not scared of like physically,
mhm,
thankfully, but I'm like, I'm more like if someone were to find out I were trans, it'd be more like embarrassing. Not that I'm trans, but that they have those negative views of trans people, and then they find out that you're trans, and it's like I don't know, and
mm,
it's that's the thing. Like you, no one should be feeling bad about who they are. It's more that again, we know how society is. Society makes you feel
mm.
bad about being yourself.
Right. Very true. Were you gonna say something else before I rudely cut you off?
Um, I think I was gonna
It's okay if
like
you
go
forget.
back to. It's weird that people are transphobic. Oh no, I remember. It's weird how some people expect people to disclose that they're trans, but like where does the invasion of privacy stop? Like, okay, so I have to disclose I'm trans. Do you have to disclose like a tragic family incident that happened to you? Do you need to disclose your medical records, like all the diseases that you've had, or like so
Mhm,
why do people think that that's fair? But like you can be private about anything else except if you're trans. Like, huh?
mhm,
No, that's not
mhm.
right.
Thank you for saying that
Mm,
because I feel like a lot of people there's a lot of people out there who disagree with me when I voice that opinion. And look, when you're dating somebody, I get it. I get it a little bit more for sure. But yeah, it's like why do I have to disclose this private part of my life with you when you're not forced to share anything of substance with me? Like I'm not forcing you to share your trauma with me. Like what the fuck? I'm not saying that being trans is trauma, but like
but yeah,
it just
exactly.
seems hypocritical.
Hmm.
And you know, when it comes to dating, I talked about it before, obviously, but I don't know. I saw this TikTok actually this morning of this trans girl. Uh, I hate when trans people do this. They'll like start the video and they're like, "I'm trans, but I'm different from all the other trans people. I tell you on the first date if I'm trans, and I get it out in the open so that I just be out there and blah 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 bliss blah 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 blah." It's like,
Mm,
oh my god, girl, you are not original. Like most
right.
trans people do that.
Mm,
What you're doing is proving the fact that everybody thinks that trans people are like
misleading.
conniving and like,
Mm,
yeah, like why do you? Most trans people do that. Like you are not original,
right. It's like I don't want to be with someone who don't want me. Like,
right? Look, I say it before the date even happens because it is fucking 2023. We're all Gen Z and like we text before we date. Like I say it over text. Like there's no like I'm saying it on the first date. Y'all are whack as hell.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I also don't think you have to say it on the first date though. You know what I mean? Am I crazy for
Yeah.
that?
Again, it's like
I don't know.
you don't get to know everything about someone at the beginning of dating them,
Mhm.
or like it takes
Mhm.
time to get to know someone. So just like with any other information about your past or like your personality or your traumas, you don't have to like tell them
Yeah.
all at once. So
Mhm.
like
I agree.
it's just another part of your personality.
Yeah. I want to know if you would harm a trans person before I tell you I'm trans.
Yeah, that'd be
You know what I
good
mean?
information.
Like, how about that's just a rule on all first dates? Like, if I'm required to tell you that I'm trans, and you are required to tell me if you would harm a trans person first.
Right.
Like, that subject pisses me off.
For real.
And back to what I was saying before, like, I think you should be stealth in relationships. I don't even know how you'd really even do that, but like, again, there's no like rule book. I think a lot of trans people, especially influencers who are trans, set this narrative that like it's super important to say it on the first date and like whatever. But like, I'm gonna tell you that it's not,
Mhm.
okay? Because feel the person out first, because
Yeah.
safety is first. But yeah, that's how I feel.
Are you even going to
Yeah,
continue dating this person? Do they even need to know? Or like,
right. And like, I don't know. I guess for me, it's like, how serious is the relationship? Like, if I plan to marry this person, then yeah, I should probably tell them. But like, because then you get in the conversation of like having kids and stuff, and like it's important for the other
Mhm.
person to know for sure. But like, I don't know, if you have sex with a trans person and didn't know they were trans and it was great sex, why would you care so fucking much? Am I wrong for saying that? Like, oh my god, like it's not they didn't lie to you. Like
You
you
saw.
clearly had the time of your life. Yeah, right? Like, what the fuck is the problem?
Right.
Fucking pussies. Oh, sorry. I
For
get
real.
heated about that one.
Because it's like always, it's always like a special rule or like extra rules that people think trans people need to follow. Like if this were a
Mhm.
cis person with any other topic, it'd be like, oh yeah, well they have the right to like tell what they want, not tell what they want. But if it's a trans person, it's like, well they need to be held accountable for every single thing that they do, and it's like, come on.
Yep. It's like you have to go through these, as you just said, like a list of requirements. Like, I feel like their mindset is okay, well, if you're gonna be like this, if you're gonna go on all these hormones and you're gonna do this and you're gonna get these surgeries and you're gonna change your name, then you have to do this and you have to do this and you have to do this.
Mm,
It's like you say that like it's a choice. Oh my
right.
god.
Crazy.
Mm, yeah, frustrates me. Hmm. Props to you for being stealth, though. I think it's a very hard thing to do.
Thank
So good for you. Yeah. Okay. Last little topic here that I've been asking all my guests is, what does being a man slash woman slash non-binary mean to you? So, as a non-binary
you.
person, what does that mean to you?
So this one, there's different ways to answer that. There's you
Mhm.
can go the technical way, which is like what most people want when they're trying to argue with you. You're like, okay, well, if it's not your genitals, if it's not your chromosomes, then what is it? And it's like
Mhm.
we don't navigate the world looking at people and then just seeing their genitals and chromosomes. Like, what are you talking about? You see how they're carrying themselves. You see how they talk. You see what they're wearing. You see their body type. That are things that apply to how you perceive someone as a man, woman, non-binary, or whatever.
Mhm.
But in
True.
terms of like personally, I would say that knowing who you are, like in your core, we're not just our bodies. Like if you don't have a hand, that doesn't make you like less of a human. So similarly, like having certain body parts of lack thereof does not take away from who you are, like your personality, your gender.
Mm,
That's why I say it's
mm,
like your spirit, it's your soul, or like it's your brain or your heart or whatever. It's not just your
mhm.
body.
Period. No, I love that. I don't think anyone's put it like that before. I like that a lot. And you're right with the hand thing. Like if I didn't have a hand, I wouldn't be any less human. And if I don't have a blank, why am I any less of a man?
Right.
Period. I love that. Um, now, trans song of the week. What did you choose?
Ooh, I choose 19. I think his name is Flora MMA, or it's like MMA Flora. But he's a trans
Hmm.
artist. He's super cool. Go listen to his music. That song 19, I always used to play it like when I did my shots. It just made me feel nice and like calm and surrounded by trans energy, my transcestors. I don't know.
I love that. That's great. I think it's very important to give a voice to trans artists, especially singer songwriters, because I feel like it's very hard for them to get a platform.
Hmm.
That's very important. That will be in the description below. Thank you for sharing that. Now, where would you like people to follow you?
Oh my goodness. I think I literally changed my Instagram. I put it in the thing, but it's different now. So it's like k.athea on Instagram. And that's about it.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And you can follow me at HRT Podcast on TikTok and Instagram. You can subscribe to me on here. I post or drop videos every Tuesday. Please join the Discord and subscribe to my Patreon. The last episode with Angel, that ended up being like 2 hours long, so I had to cut a lot of it out. So a lot of that is going to be on Patreon if you are interested. That'll be coming out very soon. And yeah, subscribe because I love you and you should love me back. And that is about it for today. Okay, thank you so much for coming on. This was a great episode, and I appreciate you and your patience through all the technical
Oh, thank you
difficulties
too.
earlier. All right, I will see you guys next week. Bye.